Good morning, everyone. Let us walk us through the life of the poorest man in the world and what makes him or her poorest. From the words poor, the first thing that will pop up in our minds is about the people that we see in the highway who asking money or food that they eat, or known as pulubi. But now, let me tell you that being poor is not about lack of work, money, house and food, clothes and others.
What?
I know that you're wondering, so finish this video.
According to our research, we will walk through the life of the poorest man in the world. We have thought that the poorest man would be homeless and a person who cannot have a meal even once a day. We found out that the poorest man has a lot of debt but can at least eat a decent meal in a day. Also, there's no certain evidence about the poorest man in the world, but there are a lot of people who've been poor or have become the poorest that has not been recorded through files. Here's Jerome Kerviel. He is French rogue trader who was convicted and imprisoned in Societe Generale trading laws for breach of trust, forgery on 2008, and unauthorized use of the bank's computers, resulting in losses valued of $6.3 billion, and if we convert it in Philippine peso, it will become 346.91 billion pesos in debt. His criminal charge was abuse of confidence of illegal access to computers with a criminal penalty of 3 years in prison. On September 8, 2014, Kerviel was released from Fleury Mérogis prison, having served less than 5 months of detention.
Ike Batista was one of the richest men in the world, but now, with a balance of minus 1 billion, he is one of the poorest. He is a Brazilian German serial entrepreneur who is reputed to have vowed to become the richest man in the world. He actually worked towards it. He built a conglomerate around mining as well as oil and gas. Ike Batista was determined to promote Brazilian infrastructure, and he engaged in large-scale industrial projects. But he overextended himself and his business, and that led to his ruin and the collapse of his empire. In 2012, he had an estimated net worth of 35 billion, making him the richest Brazilian and 7th richest in the world. However, by July 2013, he was worth 200 million due to his company's falling stock prices. With the compilation of his debts and the dissolution of his company, he is now worth minus 1 billion, making him one of the world's biggest debtors with little hope of repayment. To worsen his situation, he was imprisoned for 30 years for bribing Rio de Janeiro Governor Sergio Cabral in order to secure public constructs.
And now, let us more closer about this video. This is the reasons why we say earlier that being poor is not about of lack of money and food that we eat, but because when we say poor means there is a chance to change and make ourselves to rise from misery, from our hard works, than being a theft for a millions or billions. Yes, maybe they can survive, but it is possible, especially nowadays. So, in a simplest world, instead of saying poor, we say lack of something.